with my finger like this. That means I'm irritated. And for you trolls, kick rocks. Anyway, you know what I don't like? Because when I was supposed to come to you, I was supposed to come to you bringing another episode of From the Ground Up, the big homie. But unfortunately, I'm gonna put that on hold because I gotta address something. It's not. It has to do everything with Vegas and history. Because one thing I hate is when people try to distort Vegas history, and especially people that didn't even participate in the game. If you was a misdemeanor, not even a gross misdemeanor, and you speaking on felonies, you need to shut up, man. For real. Because a lot of people be talking, and I'm gonna tell you something. It's a difference, and I said this over and over again, between a gang member and a gang banger. For real. Let the record reflect, man. Those of us that was out there putting our lives on the line and taking those risks, getting caught for a bunch of the risks we took, going to institutions, suffering the psychological, neurological effects of all that. People like us ain't gonna allow history to be distorted. So with that said, let me address the alley shots. Now, I don't got no issue with the alley shots, but y'all history is very distorted, and y'all over there going and all that, and don't even know what it means, where it come from. But I'm finna educate you, because your so-called, um, let's just say, head honcho, that call himself y'all head honcho, he's a lie. Yeah, I'm gonna just keep it 100. He a lie. Bip a lie. Bip wasn't even active like that. For real. Now I'm finna break down the alley for you, okay? The real alley is not even in Cary Arms. That's K9 neighborhood. How the hell is that? What alley you claiming over there in Cary Arms? Huh? The one, what alley? How you a alley shot claiming Cary Arms? That's K9 hood. Okay? Cary Arms always been K9 or Rolling 60 hood. K9 was started by Rolling 60. No need to go there. But the real alley started across the street from the Gerson. Okay? That alley was popping way back in 88, 89, when all the spray paint was on the wall. You remember that? The big green GPK was right there, owned by the garbage can thing. That was Bread Alley. Bread ran that alley. Bread was up over there. Now, that herb, y'all be saying, herb, right there. Let me explain something to you, man. I'm gonna make this very simple. Because before you so-called alley shots was even claiming alley shots, I was in the alley with Bread. I was hanging with him when I was 12, man. I was in the alley with Lil Bread too. The original alley shots, I'm finna name them to you. Because alley shot isn't not even a click. It was a saying that the homie Tony Pope came up with when the police 86'd him out of the Gerson for tripping with Sheila K. He used to say, let's take it to the alley shot. That's where that term come from. And see, we busted all the lights out in the alley. Ask anybody, they'll tell you this. We busted all the lights, so when you come up the alley, you couldn't see nothing. And that's how we wanted it. Because if you didn't belong over there, you was go get it. So the way we communicated with each other is either we heard like radios or seen radio like lights or something like that, and we knew that was the homies. But Lil Bread came up with this thing, right? And it was him and Bip. Him and Bip is the first ones to start saying it. Bip just took it and made like he made it up with your lying ass. That's Lil Bread call. And they go, That call come from Compton, homie. That's a Compton Crip call. Everybody know. Well, I grew up with Lil Bread. He from originally Santana Block, Compton Crip. Even YG said in this song, that herb y'all get, that's a Compton Crip call that Lil Bread started. That we use that to communicate with each other. When we come up the alley, we used to go herb, and Lil Bread used to go herb. I never knew what that meant. I thought it was just something that, a joke. Come to find out, that was something the Crips did in Compton. Lil Bread started that, so that's where the herb come from. They was doing that in the little alley before they was doing that in a big alley. Okay? Now, when y'all went to the big alley, because watch this here. Where that green and yellow color come from? See? Because in Carry Arms, they was black ragged, and then they color black and tan. 109. What green and yellow come from? Because in the little alley, they was green and black. Y'all took something to Carry Arms. Lil Gus took over of it. Y'all turned it into something and made it an entity. When Alley Shot was just a saying. The little alley is where the alley shots come from. Now, the original alley boys, not the big Carry Arm cats, because Lil Gus never stayed in the little alley. So how the hell he the founder of Alley Shots if he never stayed in the alley? But I give it to him since y'all done turned into whatever y'all done turned into. But he, the original Alley Shots, watch this. The original Alley Shots is Bread, numero uno. Tombstone, Lil Bread. I'm going to even say Bip, even though he was not active. You was not active. Remember that time I bust on the boy from 40 Block Ice, and I was running from the police and they had the helicopter? And remember the time I ran up to you and you was sitting on the stairs with your radio? Because that's all you did was walk around with a radio. And remember I tried to give you that thing and tell you to tuck it because the police was on me? And I had on all that green. And I couldn't get away, and I was telling you to tuck that, and you wouldn't because Moms was in the house. You remember that? You was not active like that. But again, the original alleys. Tombstone, Polly Mac, even Quasi when he was Cosmo Cat. See, Quasi, even though he a whack now, before he was a whack, his name was Cosmo Cat. And he was an alley boy. Pimp, Hangman, Tony Pope, myself, OG Yak, Big Yak, Al Wack, Alex, his brother Greg, Rocket, even Lil Trap, although they broke off and became Pete Pussy Go Getters. That was called Pussy Go Getters. But they original alley boys. Now, all y'all other ones hollering herb and all that, that's something y'all morphed into in Carry Arms. It has nothing to do with the original alley. I just named them the original alley boys. When nobody in the alley over there more than who I just named. Booby Trap, Sonny, we was all in the alley. The little alley. Not the big one. That's how you distort history. And you check this out, man. Remember in 91, when Bread was tripping because wasn't nobody putting in work, and the Dons was making us look bad because they was down there making all the noise and we wasn't doing nothing because everybody, I don't know what happened. I ain't gonna even do that, but I'm gonna say this right here. Remember we started doing the cordons in the back of Carry Arms at Piggy's Park because people wasn't putting in no work, and so the people that was just lounging and wasn't doing nothing, they got whooped on. That's when they whooped Michael Jameson real bad. Remember that? Everybody got it. That's when Face got put on. Y'all remember that? Okay. When that was happening right there, Bread was right there. When we was doing them cordons. Okay? What that alley shot stuff was then. What that green and yellow was then. There was no such thing. Wasn't nobody wearing green and yellow then. So quit lying, man, and getting up here distorting history. You know what I'm saying? I hate when Stevie Wonder try to paint a picture. You know what I mean? And then gonna argue with you about how I look. Anyway, I ain't saying, listen, ask yourself a question. How you a alley shot? I'm asking you. You don't have to take my word for it to like what I'm saying. It's not to be liked, but you can't distort history. You know, people didn't die for this, man. But ask yourself a question, a serious, when you by yourself and you're not around people, that's go corrupt your thinking, because y'all think with a crowd mentality. But think about this. If you an alley shot, right? Spit that white herb. If you're an alley shot, right? How was your hood and carry arms? The big one. Explain that to me. Tell me how was y'all in carry arms. And what's y'all, how was y'all in the big, that's K9 hood. It always has been. And when we took it over, but how y'all get over there? And what alley y'all claim over there? Tell me that. And please, if you across the street ass motherfucker, I come from over the bridge in Northtown by Von Tobel ass motherfucker. Don't even speak. I'm talking to the people that's from over there. That's really from over there. Lil Bread know he started that That's a Compton crib call. That's harsh reality. That's what it is, man. I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm really from over there. I'm a original alley boy. And you ain't gonna never hear me saying because I know that's a Compton crib call. Me and Lil Bread hung around each other more than anybody when we was coming up. Bip started hanging around Pokey G because he just wasn't with what we was with. Ask Lil Bread. That's a Compton crib call, homie. Even Big Bread wouldn't say That was a saying people was using to communicate, to let people know we over here in a little alley, man. Y'all put a color to that bullshit and made it something. Everybody had to be something. We started off as one, but everybody had to break off and be something. That's why everything mixed up, and that's why Bread said, you rainbow bright ass stickers. That's why he said that. Let me explain something to you, man. The wax, when they came up, the wax come up out of Herbert Gerson. That's organic, just like the Donnas come off Donna Street. That's what the street called. It's organic. But when you try to take something and patch stuff together and create something, I ain't got no problem with it. I mean, to me, I don't bang, so I don't give a damn about it. But when I was active, I would have, I always had problems with it because I knew what it was and what it wasn't. I always did. You know, I just never, when y'all was with that I just never paid no attention to that. Y'all don't want to hear that. But I really know what it means. Lil Gus never stayed in it. Lil Gus wasn't in the alley, homie. Lil Gus was over there in the big arms. He was over there in the big arms, man. Even when Bip was in a little alley. Lil Gus was in the big arms, man. For real. When the K9s came out, Lil Gus was in the big arms when they went Black Rag. Hey, Lil Gus, you remember when Johnson & Johnson raided your spot? And they found a pistol, and they took the pit bull, and they threw the pit bull off the balcony and stuff. And I ain't finna mention no names, nothing like that, but y'all remember they got you, and they got Donald Ray Page. Remember that? When was that? What date was that? That was back in when? 88? Wasn't no damn, come on, let's keep this thing up. Come on, man, wasn't no motherfucking alley shots, no such thing, no alley shots back then. When did alley shots come out? For real. When did green and yellow become an entity? Explain that to me. Because when I left the streets, it wasn't no green and yellow. It wasn't no green and yellow. So, where'd that come from? And what alley in the big arms is you claiming? When you can explain that to me? we'll have a conversation. I know you're not gonna like this. You know how castor oil is something that helps you. Some medicine tastes gross, but it's the best kind for you. Truth hurts, and it's hard to swallow, but it's the truth, and it will set you free mentally. So, if you go distort history, go ahead. Matter of fact, I don't want to be the only one speaking on Vegas. So, when other people decide to step up and bring forth what they got, history, do that. But don't be distorting history and stuff like that. That ain't cool, man. And then when I come back, I'm gonna get back from the ground up. And by the way, somebody got at me, said something about White Street. I spoke about White Street, and if you've been following me way back when, and I'm gonna speak on them again, because I said, from the ground up is leading to something, man. But I speak on them, the White Street right now. Like I said, when Donna came out. As a matter of fact, before Donna came out, White Street was booming. White Street was always a street that was getting money. Even Al Wack, Poncho, David Roach, the Bright Brothers, uh, D-Dub, Al Wack, E-Wack for sure, his brother Devon, Lunatic, both the countries, it's a bunch of them cats, Arab, you know what I mean? It's a bunch of dudes down there from White Street, man. There's some real respectable, reputable brothers, you know what I'm saying? But the face to me of White Street, the face of White Street got to be E-Wack. But to me, the foundation from which it sprouted from, that got to be handed to me, to Jesse Bright. But E-Wack is the face of the North. You know what I mean? Some people might say the hood might have a problem with that. You know what I'm saying? I understand that, but that boy is, man. You talk about Monster Cody. Boy, E-Wack wasn't no joke, man. But that's a northern story, and they can get it and they can put it, and add to the Vegas history and do that. I can't really speak on that because, I can say what I can say on, as far as my dealings with them, but as far as what really went down with them and Donna, I don't really want to get too much up in that, man. But I could just go where I can go with it, because I stay in my lane. That's a northern story that need to be told by a northern reputable. You know what I mean? I'm speaking my life story, and that's how I got to be. You know what I'm saying? That's just keeping things square all the way across the board. You feel me? But anyway, when I come back, we go talk about Keith Carter and the Donna Street Crips. Till then, from the ground up. Hey, you know what? It's cold to be this old and still be on swole.